So they tell you about alternative energies. That's not long-term stuff. World government. This was a resolution that was passed in Massachusetts in the early 90s in the Senate. Okay, so they wanted to change the Constitution to give us a world government so they can implement stuff like Agenda 21. Now here we talked about Sustainable Rutland, and so you have it here right in, and this is not just the city, I guess it's the region or the county. And thank you, Amy, for getting this stuff up for me here. Sustainable Rutland is committed to promoting environmental, cultural, and economic sustainability throughout the Rutland region. So you see, cultural, economic sustainability, and environmental sustainability. They probably don't even know what sustainability really means. And the little term is, they actually have a definition. We respect the ability of the present and future generations to live sustainably and equitably lives through initiatives designed to build community, blah, 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 all kinds of gobbledygook, which you get at these Delphi consensus building type things, right? But if they really knew what it meant, they probably wouldn't be so embrace it. But most of them don't. And that's why our job is to help them understand this. Okay, now, oh yeah, so this is some more. Idle-free Rutland. You know what idle-free means? You know, idle, people standing around doing nothing. That's what, to me, idling is, right? Being idle, but that's not what they mean your car. You can't keep your car idling. You've got to turn it off. That means you're going to, probably wear out. You're supposed to, aren't you supposed to warm your engine up a little bit? Isn't that better for the engine, other than turning just going? You know, and then 20 below zero, and you know, your wife and kids are in the car, you taking a quick stop, can't do that anymore. You see, it'll be against, in some states have already passed laws against it. So they have to have an idling police. You know, they have a electricity police, an idling police, a smoking police, recyclable police, zero waste Rutland, right? Zero waste Rutland means that there won't be anything going on economically because it's zero waste. But it was interesting. I jogged through the town and I picked up a whole bag of trash, a little stream there. How come there's any litter? Why aren't these people Rutland should be spotless? It's not, it's pretty dirty. Right? These environmentalists aren't really as environmental as they like to say. You see? It's all about power. We have to understand that. It's about power. As I mentioned, the town halls belong to us. While on my travels, I will leave information. That's why the donations are helpful, because that's how we're able to subsidize or pay for this. So right along this big display of green stuff, I put some of our green stuff, you know. And this is the things that you should be doing. If you're not, some of you are already doing it, and if you're not, you should be doing it. Because they are. I guarantee you the folks pushing this have their influence at every town hall in the country, and the cities and the towns and counties. So we better be doing it, okay? I'm going to give you some good news now. They've had a big head start on this, right? Because as we were trying to warn people 20 years ago, not many people were listening. We'd have, small turnouts. We are getting large turnouts. You know, guys like Tom DeWeese, almost 400 people in Albany. And Albany is kind of a liberal area. It's not exactly the Bible Belt, right?
Capital of the Empire State,
yeah.
Where all of the state machinery is.
That's right.
The state, the county, the city, it is a huge liberal bastion, and a huge sort of corporatist or statist bastion, if you will. And just the other night, Tom DeWeese came out from the American Policy Center to talk about.
Yeah, he's been one of the leading advocates of exposing this since the 80s.
Over 400 people came out to that speech.
Right. And it was a call to action, not just to hear more information. But you have to hear the information before you can act. If you don't know what you're talking about, you don't have to be an expert, because I'm certainly not. You just have to have, and sometimes, here, read this and let me tell you what you think. Tell me what you think. But these meetings are just happening all over the country. And how many people are on Facebook here? Anybody on Facebook? One of the things I recommend is go to your Facebook and join something called Stop Agenda 21, Stop ICLEI. You get up-to-date stuff. There's a couple of thousand people involved in this. You get a lot of up-to-date information. And since this year, we've probably had about maybe 20, 25 towns and cities or counties that have gotten out of ICLEI around the country. Wisconsin, I think one of their House of Representatives established a property rights commission. The same thing in Washington. I think last couple of days, a county in Washington pulled out. Carver, Massachusetts pulled out. A county in Maryland, a couple of counties in Pennsylvania. Edmond, Oklahoma, and more, I think another town in Arizona recently pulled out of it. And it's more and more as there's more exposure. And let me tell you, like a call to action. This article, this came out of the February 21st New American this year. I had this in a PDF format, which I put up on my Scribd page. Do we all know what Scribd is? Scribd is like a YouTube for documents and books. thousands of things up there, millions of things up there. SCRIBD.com. And I have an account, actually I have two, /H Shurtleff or /Camp Constitution, so I have two. And I try to post, somebody has broken into my account and deleted everything, so I decided to have two and funny passwords, so I can't even get it to them. So anyway, what I did was I put this up on my script page. By doing that, you can then make a link to your Facebook page. I said, well, Massachusetts has 38 ICLEI members. So let me focus, so let me go alphabetically, Carver, Massachusetts. Okay, let me go to Carver's Facebook page. They did have the town of Carver. Oh, I clicked like, and I posted this, copy and paste. And I made a little comment about Carver belonged to this organization and you should look into it. Then I said, okay, how about the Carver Tea Party? No, no Carver Tea. How about Carver Republican Party? Out popped the Carver GOP. I clicked like, I posted this article, and I suggested that the Republicans should know about this in this town because it's pretty damaging. I didn't put too much. I wanted to get people's curiosity. So about half a day later, I got a response from the head of the group, Lisa Martin. And she said, I'd never heard of this. She said, but it explains everything. She read the article online, and she is a dynamic woman. She's actually the founder of the Plymouth County Tea Party, and I said to her, we need to host a meeting at the library in Carver. We did it in early August. Nobody comes out hot day in August. We had almost 100 people there. I spoke, and a friend of mine who's a county, the conservation officer of Ware, Massachusetts, ground zero. I mean, he's fighting it, and he's the conservation officer. He's one of the few, probably in the country, that are actually totally opposed to this, right? And we actually had some of the bad guys showing up, some of the people trying to implement. They want to know what, they found out. The next day, they have a town meeting, the town selectmen, and the woman that was pushing it, she's sitting in her chair, and as they're reading the proposals, they're saying, we can't go for this is wrong, this is a Soviet style. You can see her countenance, and she's sort of swooping in the chair like I've been had. They want to put solar panels all over Route 44, the crazy things they want to do, but they got rid of ICLEI. And as a result of Lisa, she's put us in front of countless other groups. I'd say close to 600 or 700 people that I've been able to speak to in the last couple of months because of Lisa. And I'm going down to Virginia as a result of, and I'm getting contacts all over the country. I can't be all over the country, but we have folks all over the country that could do that. Just because I posted one article, didn't take me but a few minutes, and I'm still doing this. So that's sort of a call to action for you folks. You can do the same thing. Post this information on the internet, your email lists. Get this in the hands of you should get enough copies, selectmen, or there's like 3 or 4 selectmen in each town. If you haven't given one to this, or something like this, I got some Tom DeWeese newsletters too that are very good on the corporate end of it. Go in there tomorrow, or sometime, and get these DVDs in their hands. What about the local newspaper? Letters to the editor. And if they won't run your letter, join their Facebook page and then post a letter on the Facebook page. It'll just be up there for a day or two before they take it down. And who knows, it may even stay up there, right? Join the ICLEI Stop Agenda 21. Host meetings like this. Just show a video in your home, in your church. Let people know about this. This is a very important issue. When I tell people, since we were founded, our goal was to get us out of the UN. And a lot of people don't like the UN, but they didn't see it as a clear and present danger. It is now. And I tell people, back in the 90s, there were a lot of rumors about UN occupational troops in the woods of Maine and down in this place and that place. And I said, if a UN occupational force came to your town, what would you do? And of course, some people say, oh, it will never happen, and let's hope it never happens, right? But the UN is already in your town. How did they get there? It wasn't it wasn't the Ban Ki-moon, head of the UN, that brought him in here. It was the people in your town. It was the person who was your Sunday school teacher, maybe. Maybe the person who runs the convenience store, who's a selectman now, right? Or a select woman. They're the ones that brought it in. And most of them don't know how bad it is. So I don't suggest you go in there and call them a communist traitor, okay? But you need to hold them accountable. They need to understand this. And again, there's an approach to take. Now, we look around you. There are members in this community. Consider joining with us and working with friends and neighbors to stop this and other threats to our freedoms. But I want to, the New American Magazine, I showed you the reprint. It's an indispensable tool. That should be something coming in everybody's home. in a PDF format or in hard copy format. The videos I just showed you, the reprints, we're getting more material all the time. The script page I mentioned, please, Henry and I want to be a resource to you. We will help you organize this thing. We will help you in any way we can. You have all kinds of people that you influence on a regular basis. There's talk show hosts, there's local newspapers. You can befriend these folks, walk in there with this information, make appointments with them if you have to, but get this stuff out and we can stop this. And I can even say that we might even get people like this fellow that came out of this sustainable group, right? We can get more folks like that, you know. And there is a group called Democrats Against Agenda 21. So sometimes you have to take that approach. So look, you don't have to believe me because I'm a Republican conservative.
In Vermont?
Oh, well, it's a nationwide. It's based in California, but they're a national group. I don't know who they have.
That's Rosa. She's got some really good stuff online.
Now, I'd like to show you this because when people will say, "Well, I don't know what I can do," you know, I'm not really. I don't know a lot of people, what have you. Well, I want to show you something that a very young person did recently.